And that is a fact. They cannot run away from the $240 million losses at the BOG. Omuntimi running away from that. Nanado Penswa no. Yetimi ya juma. Our Bank of Ghana honya mfaswo edisi head office under Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo Penswa. Head office ya ye wono uduru Ghana anise ye Bank of Ghana nia eye nimunyam kese ewiase nyina hu se Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo ahye Ghana animunyam owiase nyina hu se Nanado Baomi administration no wo ma hye Ghana animunyam under President Mahama losses naba. This is a new Bank of Ghana officer yesia na ehemfo eye press conference say wo mo ntiase ehemfo binum ewo Ghana ha because person mu party ba power. Ehemfo binum anom person mu party ba power. Yes, see this office no. Omo say e come the Ghana for na yes Bank of Ghana head office ehun here. Now hina ye press conference or hina free media address omo say ehun here. This them way a share of minor nimunyam and never go bisa sa hina na no kasatia this office and say $240 million losses. And I koso our Bank of Ghana ho and then hina kronum ko bisa say aduane ade ama Ghana for way. Aduma ade ama Ghana for way. And let this losses no yente sa hina na kasa. And that 200 sa office we no $261 million. And on mine 2025 Bank of Ghana are making losses of 214. Near trying to say it misses the same building way. It misses because and the exchange rate na yedai abafam because he see building way $261 million there. At the time na exchange rate was already there. And now exchange rate abafam no $240 million in betimasi. Losses. And fa dane ma and fa duma ma anya twini sisa dan we Nanado sisa Bank of Ghana office we and this year propaganda no ye fa nkrofo ye fa mason for ye fa painters obi o mata bia architect for nyina ye fa mo enti obi anya bibi eye den eye ye wie ye no ye catch the number of cleaners here. Woman ya juma this edifice you have no idea. Permanent cleaners. Ya juma this edifice you have no idea. A created juma no permanent. Because enya office ya nipa mienu aneba pepa ho. Sa dan we esi wono. Permanent cleaners ya form. Ya juma ko penso mbe ko pensi. A create eyi. Asana mo maino animonyam and then you be pan say sa 40 million losses no and the omo pedia okay. Moment na nka say losses be ankoye but losses no ba bi e de kwhye no de a minim say nya ho na e de kwhye no de and the amena mo nya adwen losses akoso na mo ma Bank of Ghana and e say di blame ni ma omo as simple as that. Anna, me wie. And na me mamamfo hu hawa and this ba mu. Wo mu penti or minor economy no black. Say, Akufo-Addo economy no na enye. Me wie abeba the 2024 Bank of Ghana annual report and financial statement. Now wait. Aye, responsible gold sourcing policy framework of the domestic gold purchase program. Producer, for page 4 no to so my radio. For page 4 no, where the domestic gold purchase program, Bank of Ghana policy document. Our money Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia etnasi a year this policy document, Bank of Ghana any year. 2021. Now, producer, for page 4 of that document in Fatoso, very good. Make kind page 2 of the domestic gold purchase program, no. Page 1, paragraph 2 of the forward, forward of that document, Or say, the allure of gold lies in its diversification benefit, store of value, natural hedge against inflation. Or say natural hedging, natural hedge against inflation, an ability to act as a buffer against financial instability. And no Bank of Ghana governor or Kasa Legon can once him. Way forward 2021, the domestic gold purchase program, the policy document, page 1, and I'm reading. Page 1 of the forward, Dr. Anderson, paragraph 2. I said the allure of gold lies in its diversification benefit, store of value, natural hedge against inflation, and ability to act as a buffer against financial instability, making it a preferred asset for central banks worldwide. To augment foreign reserves and increase gold holdings in foreign exchange reserves, a foreign exchange reserve portfolio. The bank on 17 June 2021 launched a domestic the bank the bank launched a domestic gold purchase program, DGPP. The domestic gold purchase has boosted the bank's gold reserves through the procurement of locally produced gold from mining firms and carefully selected gold aggregators who source gold from community mines, artisanal, small and medium scale mines. This has brought a significant change to the bank's foreign exchange reserves management operations. The bank also utilizes the DGPP as a channel to support reform within the artisanal and small-scale gold mining sector, and to establish responsible supply chain for artisanal and small-scale mining gold from Ghana. The policy document. Nti enye no na ye witness yi. Nenti ayede domestic gold purchase program Dr. Mahmoud Bamiade ba en say ye de ba be ye si the year. Ye make sure say ye gold reserves e be kosoro and nay ye free so December 2024 na ye 30. Na ye 30.53 tons. Let's say, sabotage your team the year, and nay, ye leveraging upon that, and so no. A team my city no, a stabilize it. Economic recovery, a year, Juma. Now, on Tiasi Abatiasi, page 4 of the policy document. Authority to buy gold. Page 4. Of the policy document, the domestic gold purchase program policy document. Ene kitami. Nti erikopoku sunkofa 1957 policy document. Mame manya ye de chere say MPP na de bae Dr. Mahmoud Bamiani swadi hunu. Ene ye de ko share Bank of Ghana say ena Bank of Ghana swaye aye ni ye man ne NDC benefit. Now, page 4 of that document, or see the domestic gold purchase program, DGPP, and its supply sources. Or see the DGPP is currently being implemented in 2 forms, as shown in chart 3. 1. a gold for reserves. G for R. And a gold for oil. G for O. And Yama Mienu. Or say the DGPP is being implemented in two forms. A, gold for reserves, G for R, no. And a gold for oil, G for O. And Yama Mienu. Sanyama we nyinano. It's a Bank of Ghana, see. Now, wa by muno. And this is me who do Bank of Ghana. Anderson. A who do. MPP abai na nado danko akufwado. A press conference upon press conference attacking the government and the Bank of Ghana. On the Bank of Ghana new office. And a DNA stop MPP. Say Bank of Ghana here Juma. I'm making losses. Yentimin call after the Bank of Ghana to send here. Wamu call after the Bank of Ghana and the government. I don't think to call. Near any individual. At the end of the policy document in here. Or see, DGPP no ye implementing it in two forms. Gold for oil, that G for R, and the gold G for O, and a gold for reserve G for R. We and yam a document. And now won't ya. That's how Timothy say, Monsieur, your component. And he say, and this is for me a press conference. Attacking MPP government and the governor of the Bank of Ghana say the new office, you bloated. I don't go to me a press conference. I said the new office you bloated na corruption I coach your Bank of Ghana. None Bank of Ghana. Under the G for R, the gold for reserve. Lots of about 214. Me who that. MPP Yesuro the governor of the Bank of Ghana. And now Yesuro say, Yabaka say, Bank of Ghana or mining in Asikasono, one yena Jumayi. Obinko posu bibia. Aya breniska, skadi ye cha, unya biade. Osu kojibi. Obisi Sammy Gyamfi bremiska, aya no kura bremiska. Wunyi antina yama ubi. Because wona menyepe. Because you are not getting me say what's any document muno men can no Bank of Ghana no a government agency said the NDC saw ye kono near Wabaimu under the new edifice omudi trust abanya disika and so now buying nisika and nay I will show you a publication. Dr. Johnson, Asiama call Parliament. Na Okwako Kase, Bank of Ghana new office no, MPP pencil ye see no. Figure no, accurate. Na Obiya nye den. A producer, check mami he, na fatuso. Okwako jitumu, se figure na ye DC party office no. Figure na ye bloated. Na figure no MPP abanye ni da ho NEC office no and so NDC as a opposition party NDC as a minority party in parliament no at that time omu take advantage no you say Ghana for do na no eto o maba based on propaganda nti NDC for no yeso be propaganda nti yam so Bank of Ghana mu ni NDC timi kasa kase MPP pencil Bank of Ghana egu eto obia wo ha ne yam be hye no obia wo ha ne yam be hye ne say MPP pencil no mo say Bank of Ghana egu mo wo hasade we esi ye 2023 2024 mo makasa meboa take the Bank of Governor on the Bank of Ghana on sa se be ya Bank of Ghana ni mo nyam be ba from no bia yamba seseno nya no mo kanyina no mo boa we de nei se wo take Bank of Ghana on anya tro na wudie because wo mo agi to mu say 214 million losses e wo ho A Bank of Ghana nye gold board. That is a fact. Until ultimately hodu Bank of Ghana said there wanono and people wa by mu and this is for hodu Bank of Ghana a hodu by president kan ho. A call on President Akufo-Addo to sack the governor of the Bank of Ghana because the new office, and this is for free say you contract something you bloated. Omo call on President Akufo-Addo to sack Philip Anderson and people for namu okruma. And ne fidiato a genuine. I need the hope say Bank of Ghana aboka. No more just say yeah the Bank of Ghana be buff from a two from. No more you kwan fufro. Mo yi kwan fufro emfa hwe ma. Kwan na mo yi ni de mimi ni mo tin kwasa kwan no. Kwan na mo yi na ye wrong road. Me ni mo ti. A producer show amp a friend saying Dr. Asiama oko Parliament 2025. Na onwa koka say contract something a genuine na nye bloated 261 contract some no or say a genuine contract some na nye bloated and so that time na or kwakoka no kore no time na or kwakoka no kore no na anyway so producer issue there to the biana yanko break 1 minute mra producer abiem de ba onya TV so I hired the evidence show anti propaganda and this yetia MPP because of the new building na yesi abani si Bank of Ghana AC ye press conference nyina ye nyensem na the governor of the Bank of Ghana no opposition no support to and this for no ye ba mo mudi tronya to mi wie ye no 2025 March and omoton sa friend say omra parliament no member update on the new office na omatu akom no and na hono wo and na hono the governor of the Bank of Ghana propaganda omo ye and omo say member update honorable afenyo minority leader and a ton sa friend say betrechirem because mo wa position mo ma wiase nyina ate say contract sam no oma diska oma yesay betrechirem okoye no and no say contract sam no mo de to dwa no e nokore na so far kra no oma ye payment amanaka $38 million ya ese so mutua edema company no na contract no enye bloated osan ka say eniema wo matoto dia finish office ni nyina $11 million no ne kwan so a okay o said that Dr. Johnson Asiama, governor of the Bank of Ghana, where publication here published by Isaac Donko 5th March 2025. Dr. Johnson Asiama, governor of the Bank of Ghana, has stated that the contract for furniture and furnishing at the new Bank of Ghana offices was awarded for $11 million. He reviewed this in Parliament on Wednesday, 5th March, to update the House on the controversial project's progress and cost. Some for their propaganda. And I'm people for say, minority leader, honorable afenyo market, oh ya dear pa. Ya wa by mu ya carry a muntie. Monsieur, a banner see office in ya crumfo, and a Bank of Ghana gu, and no Maria Sika. And a Ghana 40 and Koto Abaman DC. And a ye be minority, no what parliament. No say. But let's say, Mona Feder Magana for, say they 2 me kitabo. Mama Ghana for nyina who sika MPP wi aye e fa sa Bank of Ghana new office no se contract no mu di bi ka ho o mu ye den en no koduru parliament ya o se ne kwan so ano no enso na NDC atima ye propaganda again votes I'm a who crab at all. Ghana for being a Bank of Ghana go because of MPPT. And not the propaganda. One more kasa dear tum sa losses war Bank of Ghana or my dear tum. Intiadentina yen hiti de genuta na utia. Utia na semna or twasu jitum say the contra sum. Aye 200 and or say according to him the project's entire cost is $261.8 million with an outstanding balance of $31.8 million to be paid. That figure way and this catch Ghana for say one in Nursa and then governor by or say penalty. Nti onye ne propaganda on benefit here and nefidia so mo kondia $240 million. Yeah, the yen saw governor no kon yen saw a Bank of Ghana kon yen saw president Mahama kon said there and this the new office in saw Akufo-Addo kon ye be so now South 2024 Bank of Ghana 2024 Bank of Ghana maybe be back by my report annual report and financial statement here signed by because that time near into annual report no ba the current governor never signed 2024 no annual report to time on be prepared be we no ne ye free abamu nti na the current governor no will take it over nti ono ne sign 2024 annual report of the Bank of Ghana near Anderson supervising ye no na tie mu nyina mu nti asem bi okan wa page 1 or say the faster than expected growth was largely driven by robust performance in the industry and services sectors. Headline inflation in the review year was also broadly elevated relative to the medium-term target. The inflation outturn of 23.8% at end December 2024 was primarily driven by high food prices and exchange rate pressures experienced during the first quarter of the year. To return to the disinflation path, the Monetary Policy Committee maintained a relatively tight policy stand. In the fourth quarter, headline inflation began to ease, signaling that the disinflation process was back on track. And near my MPP digu akwamu 2024 no, actually say inflation and ye high never from where ye Dr. Johnson Asiama NAD and near my economic management team under MPP digu from 2024. And no, and I'm a high inflation, no, I hear disinflation. Yaman America, signed by Dr. Johnson Asiama, 2024 annual report and financial statement, Bank of Ghana, and American Kani, Obiamo. Mo petting ya munia dagi research ya the bar na mudia in your comment section one. Just Google and read the forward page 1 of the report. Now be who say near make and near my MPP digu akwamuno and then I'm on high inflation I disinflation. I'm an abafam. Natio or say the external sector position improve markedly in 2024 with a balance payment surplus of $3.1 billion. compared to a surplus of $500 million in the previous year, that is 2023. By 2024, no, now external sector payment, I improve by $3.1 billion from $518 million. Adansia odi ediafa economy yedija omono. This was mainly due to the increased current account surplus underpinned by higher gold and crude oil export, as well as strong remittance inflow. The current account surplus, together with lower net outflow from the capital and financial account due to Ghana's successful debt, ewiase so bidi trotua ya chembi bibia. Sa ye did debt exchange program ne baye no. And this in a jijina mu e kan sem kire nkrofo say enya de papa. President John Dramani Mahama say debt exchange program no a within for policy MPP de baye. President John Dramani Mahama and ne obaye 1 year ni enkrofo aye no omo course debt exchange ya omo surrender everything no bosha o share omo say immediately obe terminate bibia reverse no ontimi nyeye 2024 annual report, Bank of Ghana, signed by the current governor. Tiasemo Kanwa. Or say, the current account surplus, together with lower net outflow from the capital and financial account, due to Ghana's successful debt restructuring and the IMF extended credit facility program, resulted in significant balance of payment surplus in the year. The favorable external sector position, which was supported by the favorable external sector position, which was supported by the domestic gold purchase program, external debt restructuring, and the IMF inflows, resulted in substantial reserve accumulation. Gross international reserves increased to a stock position of $8.98 billion at end December 2024, relative to $5.92 billion in 2023. Adansi enkwano. Adansi pankwano no. Awe and DC abain and the the governor of the Bank of Ghana and the now Erikopoku assembly ahona me di wie. Etrobia me ye reading nyina na me ye notes nkakra. Etrobi odi ye ne say Bank of Ghana eto gold boka and almost for 2 gold boka biano obwa. Page 19 of this report. Page 19 and the Trese Erikopoku Sakawa politics no ye a trunk one. I and a gold almost for 2 yenano a buying boka and people are buying boka more be and fan munyam and my bomb a tro. Way Dr. Johnson Asiama and the Saye ni picture ne bomui. The current governor of the Bank of Ghana and the OD Bank of Ghana na Anderson Dano and Pipi Penso and in Yama and Pipi Digua Kwaimu and economy na ye successful no. Any a good year a course 2024 nyinano nti Erikopoku kase OBS for 2 gold boka a BSA of what page 19 and amidi on that topic. Gold export page 19. I said the value of gold export rose by 53.2% to $11.64 billion, reflecting both volume and price effect. Tia el kopokuntie ni ye trono kodi ye no say an gold export to krano or mino anyesika or mine boka domestic purchase gold program and farria mano. O can page 19 now. Or see the volume of gold export rose by 53.2% to $11.64 billion, reflecting both volume and price effect. The volume of gold export increased by 23.7% to 5.10 million fine ounces, largely driven by the responsible and regulated small-scale gold mines, coupled with sustained output of the large-scale mines. The average realized price for gold also moved up to $282.6 per fine ounce in December 2024. Enti Erikopoku no monfa say Opeso can be no bia hu se ono no nya president obedi nanso say ono ane nkrofo document egu nanim ase ene anwumere yenkwa